Good evening, dear viewers. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Muhammad Abdurrahim, and tonight we'll be talking about the sustainable agricultural development policy in Egypt, and especially in the beloved Sinai. This is our main topic here tonight, and we have the great pleasure of having with us in the studio Engineer Hassan Shabaan. He's a civil engineer, he's a development expert, and he's also the former deputy head of the first syndicate for Egyptian peasants. Thank you very much, Engineer Shabaan, for joining us. It's a great pleasure. Thank you, sir. Allow us, dear sir, and allow us, dear viewers, as we always do in this program, first to watch a report about our main topic for tonight, and then we'll come back and start our discussion. Engineer Shabaan, dear viewers, please stay with us.
Egypt is pressing forward with its ambitious development drive in the Sinai Peninsula as the nation marks the 52nd anniversary of the glorious October victory. Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashad, extended her congratulations to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the armed forces and the Egyptian people, reaffirming the state's commitment to developing Sinai through large-scale infrastructure and service projects. Minister Al-Mashad announced that £10 billion in public investments had been allocated for North and South Sinai under the fiscal year 2025-2026 plan, targeting key sectors such as agriculture, water, sanitation, health and education. Since 2014, Egypt has launched an extensive development plan for Sinai, implementing strategic projects to boost agriculture, expand road and service networks, and ensure sustainable water resources through desalination and treatment facilities. Among the flagship projects are the Mahasma and Bahr al-Bakar wastewater treatment systems, which together recycle up to 6 million cubic meters of water per day for the reclamation of about 460,000 feddans. According to the 2025-2026 development plan, public investments in North Sinai amount to £6.6 billion, with agriculture and land reclamation receiving 21.7%, healthcare 19.5%, and construction 17.4%. South Sinai is set to receive £3.6 billion distributed mainly across transport, healthcare, and water projects. Dr. Al-Mashad also revealed that the Egypt Services Center in El Arish is nearing completion. The center will provide over 150 government services under one roof, making it the first integrated service hub of its kind in North Sinai. The minister stressed that those ongoing efforts underscore Egypt's determination to consolidate stability and prosperity in Sinai, turning a land of historic victory into a model of sustainable development and national progress.
Thank you very much, dear viewers, for staying with us, and many thanks to Abir, Hussein, and Rasha Abdel Hamid for this report. And we're back here in the studio with Engineer Hassan Shabaan, the development expert and the former deputy head of the first syndicate for Egyptian peasants. Engineer Shabaan, we are going to talk about the agricultural development policy in Sinai and sustainable agricultural development. Can you walk us through, first of all, about the terminology here? Let's talk about agricultural development. What does it really tackle? And what do we mean by sustainable agricultural development before we head into the beloved Sinai?
Actually, sustainable development in the agricultural section actually means that you establish a permanent and integrated development program on the ground. Meaning, if I have a fabric called Sinai. Actually, this fabric is we did not pay enough attention and develop Sinai for so many decades, actually. Politically, we were under pressure. There are certain circumstances were there. The peace treaty, all of this created a lot of fog around Sinai. But, you know, Sinai is ready for development, meaning you have a lot of areas suitable for agriculture. Indeed, there is a lot of mountains and rough terrain in Sinai, but still you have large areas suitable for plantation. What you really require in Sinai is water and choosing the right crop. But again, we're going to have a plan. Meaning, if I will grow a crop in Sinai due to the, relatively speaking, the far market from the area that I will grow my crops, I need to establish small communities, cities, industries that depends on the crops that I will grow. I will give an example, actually.
Yes.
It might not have a direct relationship with agriculture, but it serves a great sector of agriculture, meaning the salt industry. We have the Bardawi Lake, you know, in west of Sinai, and actually Bardawi Lake is a source of salt water that you can use in producing salt. Salt is very important in many ways. It's like oil. You can actually put it in a refinery and extract a lot of raw materials, elementary materials from that salt. It's not sodium chloride only. There's a lot of items included in the seawater. One of the items that agriculture requires is potassium. This is a very important material for agriculture today. In addition to this, you can establish medical industries, because out of the salt you can get a substance called bromine. The bromine is a material that goes into tranquilizers, actually. We import a lot of tranquilizers from abroad. We could, with very simple effort, establish our own bromine industry in Sinai. So you're going to have the potassium, you could have bromine, a lot of you know, things you could get from salt. But again, you did not really so far explore the resources, the mineral resources in Sinai. Oil, materials, raw materials. We always promoted the idea that we have the black sand and all. Let me surprise you and tell you there is a big possibility that we might have uranium in Sinai. So actually, we need to work hard, seriously, to really rediscover our resources. Serious studies, serious you know, reports, underground water. We need to know you know, what is going on, because actually, even from the religious point of view, Moses actually, with very simple hit with his magic stick, actually, you know, created 12 wells. We have very sophisticated equipment right now. We could actually maybe do something with this. I mean, we need study for the underground water. We need study for the minerals in Sinai to establish industries. Also, though agriculture requires a lot of water, but again, we have certain plants that do not really require much water to get very positive results. Meaning, if I actually grow a plant called stevia, which is very well known for patients with diabetic cases. I mean, create a law to just tell the industries like soda pop and and desserts and so forth to use only stevia instead of sugar produced out of sugar cane. So we will block this gap because we import a lot of sugar still till today. We need actually to tie our financial situation. I mean, we spend a lot of money over sugar. Why not create an industry that blocks this seepage of our foreign currency by importing sugar? There is a lot of ideas. Even the worst case, if we do not have even fresh water, we could still grow plants on salt water. The halophyte. The halophyte family is a plant that grows directly on salt water without really treatment. You don't extract salt or anything. There is a plant that actually feeds directly on this salt water. You could have the biggest camel farm in the Middle East, in Sinai, because camel could actually be raised over there and use this halophyte plant as a food for the camels. A lot of ideas, and it will not take time. It's not a time consuming. Actually, the good thing about agriculture that it doesn't take long to show. Okay, within a year's time, you're going to see results on the ground. But what you really require, a good plan. You're going to have an integrated system, industries next to the areas that you're going to grow these crops. A lot of ideas are suitable. There is a lot of ideas.
You've really mentioned a lot of ideas, Engineer Shabaan, and raised some very, very important points, and gave us the impression that there is much to do still in Sinai, and that we have to discover or rediscover Sinai from scratch, as if I grasp your words, and that it's not difficult to do this, and that we have to speed up this process, and that we will bear fruit. And you're confident that we will bear fruit, and it will not take much time to
see the results.
So. Yeah. Engineer Shabaan, of course, expanding cultivable land is an element of developing agricultural policies, expanding cultivable land and providing irrigation water. What could you tell us about these points? What are we doing here as far as the expansion of cultivable land is concerned, and about providing more water for irrigation? Especially we have a Salam Canal, for instance, and maybe other.
We have the two aqueducts that the government actually made under the Suez Canal. It's actually you're transferring water to Sinai through this. It's a water treatment. It's a treated water. But again, treated water might be a little bit expensive. But in light of what's going on now in the Middle East, but Middle East is changing, whether we like it or not.
It is.
Hopefully, with the peace plans that are being presented right now, there should be a slogan that common interest between people make peace, actually. And it's not borders and this is my land and this is your land. No, no. Actually, the ties between people in the surrounding countries in Sinai, actually, there is a lot of ideas. The coming era, where we are all looking for peace, there is a good idea that I like really to mention.
Egypt is looking for peace, and that's
definitely
obvious. But maybe the war crime suspect, Israeli Prime Minister, is not looking for peace. But anyway, we are having the peace negotiations here in Egypt and Sharm el-Sheikh, and of course His Excellency the President has invited President Donald Trump to attend the signing of this peace deal, of course, if it is achieved.
If it takes place.
Yeah, and we all pray
hopefully,
that it
hopefully
will be
then,
also for the sake of humanity, for the sake of ending the suffering of the Palestinians in Gaza, who have been treated to every possible war crime you can think of by at the hands of the Israelis.
Okay. If President Trump succeeds in doing this, he will deserve the Nobel Prize that he's seeking. What I really think, we need to use all the resources in the area to develop the whole area as a whole, because there is a lot of wasted resources in this area. Meaning, I'll give you an example. Of course, right now we see a problem in the water in the River Nile, because there is no coordination between our friends in Ethiopia and the rest of the Nile Basin countries. I proposed some time ago that all of these countries, that these 7 countries or 8 countries that actually say, there should be a satellite that controls all the dams and reservoirs and lakes and rainfall rate in the whole area. And it's a neutral satellite. Gives instructions to every dam, every country to open, discharge certain amounts of water. So actually it will be balanced, and it will give a warning to everybody, and it will protect everybody from getting thirsty. The River Nile is very important to us.
Of course. It's the lifeline.
Exactly. This is why I will mention this. Do you know that there is at least 400 billion cubic meters of water that seeps from the Ethiopian plateau directly to the Gulf of Aden, not usable? It goes directly to the wasted, completely wasted. Okay? There was an engineer in Denver, Colorado, who actually studied an idea to use this water that actually nobody is using. His name is Ivy Ostineski, I think. I think if the U.S. leads a program to try to come up with a genius idea of having a series of dams that holds the water from going into the Indian Ocean, the Gulf of Aden, and take this water. Of course, this project could be financed by our friends in the Gulf. Okay, this 400 billion cubic meters could be actually spreaded over all the partners in the area, including our friends in Palestine, our brothers in Palestine, wherever they're gonna be staying, with Gaza, Nakab, whatever area.
No, they are staying in Gaza. I mean,
yes.
I mean,
for sure. Yes. So actually, this water is key to peace, because you're going to provide water to everybody, and this will encourage people to develop. Saudi will take a share. Palestine, God willing, will have a share. Even Israel, if actually they sign an agreement with the Palestinians, I think the Arab countries and the surrounding countries and the Islamic countries will welcome this. Everybody.
Well, of course, you know, as you mentioned, the water of the River Nile is the lifeline for Egypt, and Egypt is not ready and will not accept to lose a millimeter of its water right.
Let me explain.
And there is a political will here in Egypt to coordinate with our brothers
around us, yes.
Yes, in the Nile Basin countries, but there also have to be a reciprocal political will in Addis Ababa for this to
I think
happen.
the U.S. is in a position to actually convince Addis Ababa to do this, as well as our neighbors, the Israelis, have a lot of influence over that. I'd like to mention that Africa is witnessing a development. Like even in Congo, they have the biggest dam ever built in Africa, the Inga Dam. The Inga Dam is
Congo Kinshasa or Congo Brazzaville?
Congo Brazzaville. They on the Congo River, the discharge of water is tremendous. It's 4,000 cubic meters per minute. So actually,
wow.
It's a very rough river, and if peace takes place and wisdom, we could, you know, all benefit. Even the Inga is capable of lighting the whole of Africa on its own without any other help.
Amazing.
So actually, if we connect the Inga Dam to the Renaissance Dam to the High Dam in Egypt, all of this is, you know, the grid, the electrical grid that connects all of this means Africa will be.
You know, Engineer Shabaan, that's yet another proof that Africa is the basket of resources around the world.
Exactly.
And yet another proof is basket of water resources as well.
Exactly. So actually, what we require an ambitious plan, maybe led by the U.S., because President Trump is very ambitious, and I think if he manages to have a good development plan, this will prove to Africa that the U.S. is playing a leading role in making peace around the world.
And that will be noble number 2.
Exactly.
And of course, the U.S., because simply everybody in the world knows that the U.S. dictates much of what's happening around the world.
Exactly.
I mean, it's no secret. Now, Engineer Shabaan, part of the goals of the development plan for Sinai is increasing food production.
Yes.
And generating employment.
Yeah.
Talk to us about these 2 points, please. The importance of food security and also, you know, making room for more Egyptians to reside in their beloved heart in Sinai and get more job opportunities and really, you know, fill this beloved part of our country.
When we got Sinai back with this peace treaty that we've signed a long time ago, actually...
We got it first with a victory, huh?
Right,
with
of course, that we're celebrating, yes, right. Actually, we all actually got attracted to the touristic resorts, Sharm el-Sheikh, Dahab,
yeah.
all of these areas, while really the starting point in Sinai should be Bardawil. Bardawil is the key to develop Sinai, because Bardawil is a natural fish or fishing area. I mean, this could be the biggest man-made fishery area, actually. Instead of constructing, you know, farms to grow fish and so forth, the Bardawil Lake could be a natural place to grow the 2 very famous Dinis and Mias. All of these types of fish are very much appreciated in Europe. I was in Paris many moons ago, I mean, like 4 or 5 decades ago. But I found out that the Egyptian fish of Bardawil is in the Paris market, fish market. So actually, we need to regain this, to restore, places that we've lost. We need to have a growing fish in a
industry,
in a very scientific way. No, we're going to use science to develop Sinai this time. We're not going to just have programs with because the technology have developed. We actually could use technology today in rediscovering Sinai. I'd like to tell you something that that I experienced like maybe 30 years ago.
Please.
I had a relationship with production of salt in Sinai, and one of the phases of producing salt is that you make basins and you heat the seawater, and after that you get the salt out and you dry it. But one stage of creating salt, you see that salt is covered with a red, slightly red layer of, I didn't know at that time what was that, because once we get the salt out and we dry it, we sell it. Till I got a Japanese friend, and he visited me, and he saw this red layer on the top of the salt. And he said, do you know that you're wasting a lot of money, more, I mean, you could make more money than producing salt. I said, how come? He said, this red layer is a one cell animal creature called Artemia. It's like caviar. And it's very expensive. The Artemia is something more expensive than caviar, but we just throw it away. We waste it. So we need to actually use science. I will let you just know something. Even when we dredge to deepen lakes or something, we actually throw the sand that we on the banks of the lakes, whatever. But this sand covers something very important, which is the seaweeds in the bottom. The seaweeds are very important to actually provide oxygen to the creatures. Not only waves give oxygen to seawater, it's also the plants in the sea actually gives oxygen just like a plant on the ground. So actually we need to cooperate with our friends in Japan, because they're very good and very advanced in sea technology, planting things on seabed to increase the amount of oxygen that attracts a large size of fish. We need to create a tuna fish industry in Sinai, because actually for so many decades we never thought that we could have an industry for tuna fish. While this is completely wrong, because actually there is a season for tuna fish that could be fished in Sinai, on of course, the Mediterranean. So actually, you need to integrate all of this together, create industrial communities, create agricultural community next to it, grow a lot of sunflower, because you import a lot of oil, sunflower oil. You need this oil if you're going to have a tuna fish industry. You might as well get the oil from sunflower to use it in canned tuna industry. So you need an integrated program, and you're going to have to use Sinai to redistribute the population in the delta and the valley, because you have a very concentrated population in the delta and valley. You have to create business chances for the young people. This is our country. Sinai is not a peninsula that actually, no, it was part of our country, and it will remain part of our country. And we created Suez Canal not to divide, split Sinai away from motherland. No, no. We gave a gift to humanity by creating this canal. But this doesn't mean that we should lag behind in developing Sinai. Sinai is a very important part of Egypt. And if you look at the map, Sinai is the center of gravity of all the area between east and west in the Middle East. Look at it, you will see that Sinai is the center of gravity between east and west, just like a balance. So actually we're going to have to use this to our benefit. We do not have the luxury of wasting any more time.
Again, so many important points you've mentioned, Engineer Shabaan, and I understood from your words that you believe in agricultural development, in industrial development, in using science, in rediscovering this dear precious part of our land, and not wasting more time in doing so, and not just focus on the touristic beauty of Sinai, or building more and more concrete there. But of course infrastructure is a must. Is a must. So how much more work do we need in infrastructure in Sinai, because Egypt has been spending on infrastructure a lot in the past 10+ years across the country. But infrastructure-wise, is Sinai ready for this agricultural, industrial potential boom, or do we still need to spend on infrastructure before we take this track of the legitimate goal of getting an agricultural and industrial boom in the beloved piece of our land?
Let me surprise you. The government is establishing a huge project connecting railway from Arish to Bir Al Abd to, it's a gigantic project. For the first time, we're connecting all the key cities, right?
Yeah.
Right, Bir Al Abd, Hassaniya, Rafah, all of these, for the first time, they're connected by a railway. So actually, what we see in the motherland, the infrastructure that it covers all of Egypt. No, actually, Sinai is getting its share of development, and we need to utilize all of this infrastructure integrated with our agricultural development, industrial development, redistribution of population, training young men to actually on modern farming. We need to establish the industry of putting the agricultural equipment together, assembling it. We could actually go in partnership with China, because actually they're very good in automating the equipment of
agriculture. They're very
agriculture.
good in everything.
So actually, we need, shame that we have a lot of green areas and we don't have a lawnmower. We don't manufacture a lawnmower. We need actually to have a look over the whole scheme and have a target. We need, what is the outcome of all this? What are we gaining financially? Because actually agriculture means business, as you know.
Yeah.
What is the outcome of what we're doing? Did we make money of growing stevia? Did we make money out of growing siliconia, which is this plant that actually grows on salt water? Did we you know, and so forth. We need to see our research centers, what they are doing in regard of did they actually have experimental plantations for sunflower to produce oil, because some of the sunflower species do not have a high content of oil. You need a species that have oil because you want oil. So actually we need to use science, technology. In the coming few years, we're going to have to see a completely different Sinai. We need to attract
millions. I mean, our dream is to have millions living in Sinai.
And Sinai is ready for that, providing that the government should have a plan, a gradual plan, where to relocate people, what they are going to do, create jobs for them, and so forth. Just secure jobs. You need to secure industry, secure you know, agriculture, and so forth. I think
we need to rediscover Sinai.
Yes.
So as we wrap up, I mean, I've really enjoyed listening to you, Engineer Shabaan. And what final closing remarks would you like to say in the final 2 minutes? You gave us a lot of ideas here, and you have 2 minutes to wrap it up.
I would recommend the door to peace is to develop and actually aggression and
aggression and development. Yeah.
Actually, we should actually have a plan for the whole area. In order, Sinai, thanks God, we have a stable government, and we're going to have a plan. We need Sinai to be an example for the whole area. Hopefully, peace will take place soon, and I think the U.S. could play a major role in the area in adopting, I wouldn't really say that Gaza will be you know, a touristic result.
The Riviera, yeah. The Riviera.
The Riviera, because Gaza is shaded with blood, actually. So actually, Gaza is a very painful memory to all of us. And I think the only way...
The most important thing is that Gaza will stay for Palestinians.
Exactly.
I mean, they are the owners of the
But
land.
again, I hope the Israelis will be wise enough, because the desert of Nakab is open, and the population in the Nakab area is not that big. I think if we manage to have a major scheme or project in the area to get the wasted water, as I said, and make it reach Nakab, we will probably get part of it in Sinai, and Nakab will get part of it. And, you know, the Palestinians could actually still live in their own country in Palestine, which is the Nakab area.
Of course, the future independent and viable Palestinian state, so June 5th borders, June 4th borders of 1967, the only path for peace.
Exactly.
As stated by Egypt for decades now.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Engineer Hassan Shabaan, the developmental expert, and also the former deputy head of the first syndicate of Egyptian peasants. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you.
To see you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, dear viewers, for watching us. Please stay with Night TV.